The Magnetic Hematite Shoppe by Herb and Cindy. Today we're going to show you how to make men's magnetic bracelet. Magnetic bracelets are used to increase blood circulation, including oxygen, to injured areas to accelerate the healing progress. Magnetic jewelry is used by Olympic gymnasts and other athletes around the world. When you consider there is iron in one's blood, and everything on Earth is living within the Earth's magnetic field, it helps one understand how increasing the magnetic effect to an injured area is beneficial. Seniors also use magnetic jewelry to reduce aches and pains, and a lot of seniors use it to reduce the effects of arthritis. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of money to be made on the magnetic effect on the body, so there's not a lot of pharmaceutical companies advancing research on the effects of magnetics on injured areas. But we do have hundreds of years of experience demonstrating how magnetic jewelry can improve the healing process in China. I understand how a lot of people have trouble understanding this. All we ask is for you to try it yourself and make your own decision on if it helped reduce pain and enhanced healing for you. The men's bracelet we are going to make today is by far the most popular men's bracelet. We sell 10 of these to any other men's bracelet. Alright, let me show you the tools and supplies you'll need to make the men's bracelet. Okay, first you're going to need a pair of scissors. What I have here are a pair of titanium scissors. They're not cheap child's proof scissors. You don't need anything that elaborate, you just need something sharp. Next we need a Bic lighter. Any kind of a cigarette lighter will work. We buy these Bics at the liquor stores real cheap. The main bead we're going to use is going to be a 5 by 8 millimeter round tube. It's kind of square in the end, kind of looks like a clasp with holes going through the center. And there's no, other than being just round, there's no particular shape to it. The hole's big enough to take the monofilament line. Then we use these rondelle beads. They're 6 millimeter diameter and 1 millimeter thick, so that we use 2 of these between each of the magnetic beads. You need some kind of rolling surface because these square tubes are square in the end. Next we have the monofilament line. I'll hold it up in front of the camera here. That's 80-pound monofilament line. You'll need about 10 inches of that. The 80-pound monofilament line can be difficult to locate, but we do carry it in stock. Then we're going to have the magnetic clasp, which comes in 2 pieces with opposite polarity. There's a hole through the center, and on one side is a large hole and the other side is a small hole. When we're working with a clasp, it's always a good idea to make sure you have a matched pair. A pair with opposite polarities so they come together in the proper order. To attach the clasp to the monofilament, you insert the monofilament into the small hole and it comes out the large hole. Next you hit the monofilament with a cigarette lighter and the monofilament forms a ball on the end. When the monofilament is pulled back into the clasp, the ball locks into the large hole and you're ready to start placing beads on the bracelet. But first, put the second half of the clasp on the bracelet to ensure you still have a matched pair and it does not get lost. Okay, now we're ready to start putting the beads on the clasp. I always put a 4 millimeter round right adjacent to the clasp, and that allows a rolling surface for the clasp when the whole bracelet is made. Then you start stringing. Once you have the 4 millimeter bead on there, you can start putting the other beads. In this case, we're putting 2 rondelle, and then we're going to put a round tube bead, and then 2 more rondelle, another tube bead, and we keep going with that sequence through the whole bracelet. Whoops, made a mistake. Can't do that. I guess I gotta pay attention and do the... I need to learn how to do multitasking where I can bead, talk, and chew gum all at the same time. The purpose of the rondelle is to provide a rolling surface because the ends of the tube beads are square and you need some way to be able to bend the bracelet, so the rondelle beads fill that need. We're just about done here. Let's measure and see where we are. Gotta add a few more beads. Now that we've added a few more beads, let's check the length. As you can see, we are at 8 1/4 inches. Can you see that? The next thing to do is put our 4mm round bead, which would be adjacent to the clasp, and we put take the clasp off the other end and put that half on this end, and then we will measure, check to make sure that we have matching clasps, that all clasp comes together properly. Now I'm going to stretch the bracelet out and pull it over the edge here and trim it where I've got about 3/8 of an inch protruding off the end of the clasp. Now that we've trimmed it, you may not be able to see it without a contrasting background, but now we're going to hit it with a cigarette lighter and make a ball on the end of the monofilament. And as it burns like a fuse and gets shorter and shorter, we stop it just before it reaches the clasp. Then we can pull the ball into the big hole in the clasp. Alright, let's clean off our table here so we can take a look at what we've got. As you can see, we've got a very attractive men's bracelet that men can wear anywhere. This is a bracelet that you can make a necklace or an anklet following the same exact ideas or design. This has a 7mm clasp on it for bracelets. If you can do a necklace with this design, I'd use a 6mm clasp. And if you're using an anklet, I'd use an 8mm clasp. It's amazing how easy they can fall off your ankle when you just by walking or stepping up or down a curb without that strong 8mm clasp. Well, that summarizes how to make men's magnetic bracelets, anklets, and necklaces. We have other videos for you to watch. We have one that talks just about clasps. Another video shows our online bead catalog and includes when and where to use the different beads. Plus, we are always publishing new videos weekly, so make sure you subscribe to our channel by hitting the subscribe button. Subscribing to our channel is free, and you don't have to divulge any personal information. Subscribing to our channel will entitle you to receive notices when we publish new videos, but there will be no spam sent to your email address from us. And if you think other beaders will enjoy this video, please click on the thumbs up button telling YouTube that this is a good video that other people might enjoy watching. And one last thing, if you have any questions about magnetic beads, please feel free to call us and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions. Here is the phone number. I usually work quite late on the computer at night, so please call in the afternoon. We are in California, which is Pacific time, and 3 hours behind the East Coast.